Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Outside Noise Album of the Month podcast for the month of February. I'm Kaylin. I'm joined by Carrie.
Julia.
What?
Michael. Julia, you're not holding your microphone.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking, sorry.
Let's try that again.
About all that.
Wait, okay, why did you say my name and then
why did you say
Julia
Carrie's
to say
name
Julia's
and then
name? Like,
expect Julia
you
to say
also
her
were
own
not
name?
making any sense.
That was very weird.
To be fair.
I'm also joined by Julia and Michael, and today we're
Yes.
going to sit down and talk about the albums of the month that came out in February. These are all picks from our Album of the Week podcast, and you can find that on Patreon if you want to see how we came to this decision. But we've got 4 great albums here. I'll go ahead and list them off. In chronological order, we have Songs for Lost Travelers by Confucius MC and Bastien Keb. From the 14th, we have Gift Horse by Swell. From the 21st, we have Sound of a Bite by X and Yde. From the 28th, we have A Harmony of Loss Has Been Sung by Tunic. So usually we just kind of work down this list like in order.
Chronologically.
Chronologically.
If you will. Wait, we didn't ask how everyone's doing.
Oh, how's everyone doing?
I'm doing awesome.
That's great, Michael.
Really good.
That's cool. Everyone's doing great. We're all in a good mood. It's almost the freaking weekend.
Yeah,
it's basically
it's
the
Thursday.
weekend.
I will say we don't usually film on a Thursday, and here we are.
Wow.
Thursday.
Anything
vibes.
can happen.
Great.
High energy.
Anything can happen.
And so chronologically means the oldest to the newest, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It just means the order that it had, like,
What?
I don't know what to tell you.
This is only like the 15th time we filmed.
I just-
Songs for
why is
Lost
today,
Travelers
like,
by
a wreck?
Confucius
Are you-
MC and Bastien Keb.
I
What did we
love
think
this
of that
album.
album?
I really liked this album. This was beautiful, like kind of folk rap, which is not something you really hear a lot of. This like acoustic guitar accompaniment with this sort of like conscious rap. I mean, the guy's stage name is Confucius MC, so that kind of gives you like an idea of what to expect here.
Yeah. We talked about in the weekly pod how like something that is really cool about the album is absolutely no drums. The accompaniment has very little percussion
I think
at all.
there are 1 or 2 tracks with a tiny bit of percussion.
Yeah,
so it's not
barely
technically
counts.
pure drumless, but it basically is.
And like, yeah, sort of, you know, it's not the first project to do like delicate, conscious hip hop, but just the way it sounds all together, it's very intimate. The strings and woodwinds. I think I also said then, like, don't get me wrong, I love a big fat nasty beat, but I feel like the writing and the singing, like you said, very meditative and thoughtful and introspective, just suited the acoustic instrumentation really nicely.
Yeah, and I like that you mentioned the singing too. There's a good balance kind of of spoken word and like sung stuff, and lyrically it's kind of abstract and a little fantastical. I feel like it's kind of like medieval. I imagine listening to this like in the tavern, like the bard playing this. I don't know. I mean, it's called Songs for Lost Travelers, so I think that vibe is kind of intentional.
It has some moments of sweetness too, though.
Yeah.
Just really like it.
It is nice.
It's like British.
Beautiful.
So that actually matters. That actually matters because that's where the folk tie-in comes from. Is like the British folk thing. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
This is really pretty. What a nice album. And we don't cover a ton of hip hop and rap stuff, so I'm glad this
Yeah.
I
So
could
it's
play on.
interesting that we have 2 hip hop adjacent releases.
That's true.
Yeah,
in
that's
this
true.
roundup. Yes.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. A lot of times, when a hip hop release is really interesting, somebody else finds it first. We're not as on the ball with that. So this was cool.
But we have 2.
They're gonna blow up one day. This duo is good. I hope they keep working together.
Hell yeah. Would love
Good
it.
stuff. Another band that I think is going to blow up one day, if they haven't yet already, haven't checked since this album came out a few weeks ago, is Swell with their release Gift Horse, which really blew me away. And it's like kind of indie, emo, bedroomy thing, but with an experimental slant that just like hooked me and drew me in.
Yeah, it has that edge over other people doing that. I guess like indie folk sound by bringing in some influence from not just like shoegaze, not just like ho hum, whatever. We're just making the guitars loud shoegaze.
Well, right, not just the 2
But-
most obvious choices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they it's from the experimental fringes of shoegaze. So you got these like guitars doing some really interesting things here that mesh really well with this like fiddle driven kind of Americana sound, even though this is also not an American band, but they're doing an Americana thing. I don't know. I think this was an interesting one, and if you're in the indie pop world, this is a kind of an interesting turn for that scene, and I hope other people take
It's
notice.
also their
Take
debut release too.
Yeah.
So very solid.
The preferred way of going about indie rock, I would say. It's so cool, and it's like, I think that combination of rock and folk and stuff, it just sort of leads to this like woozy, psychedelic, like dreamy sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Yeah.
Totally, because that's what a lot of the like 60s and 70s psych rock came out of, was like the Laurel Valley like folk kind of scene.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I didn't even make that connection when we first listened to this album. And I think I interpreted it more in the world of like pop punk and emo
Totally,
stuff.
yeah, because it lives
Yeah.
there too.
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, it
Sure.
hits like all these different sounds,
it's
which
not
I
super
think.
soft. Don't get it.
Yeah, and its
twisted.
songwriting style, it definitely borrows a lot from grunge. There's a lot of
Yeah.
that, like the verses are really low and lyrical, and then it just bumps up really dramatically in intensity into a chorus. So
Yeah. Grunge is another one of those genres right now that is just being like sort of stitched into folk country. It's going all over the place, and I feel like it adds such a good
Like
just
grittiness.
good, yeah, just good taste to a lot of the stuff that it's featured in when it's fused very thoughtfully. I've been enjoying it, the sort of grunge thing going on too. Hell yeah, that's Swell. Any other
Awesome.
closing thoughts on Gift Horse?
That was good. Yeah.
Cool.
I thought it was very strong when it was at like its most heightened.
Yeah.
Yeah, its biggest.
Yeah.
A fun Valentine's Day release too.
Yes.
yeah,
We
that
talked
was
about
yes.
Valentine's Day. All right, well then let's talk about "Sound of a Bite" by X and Yde.
Alternative R&B, something we almost never cover. but
Something that we
did
don't
hear.
Yeah, something we don't even see like a lot of in
There's
general.
really, yeah, that's true.
Not
It's
a
a very
ton.
small scene. A lot of times, if you're in the experimental electronic world, you are kind of doing things pretty far away from the R&B world. But this is definitely an exception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is also very unique in that too, because I don't see. This also does that kind of drumless thing too, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
highly electronic.
Loose, yeah, but
Like cavernous and far
Yeah.
away and echoey and cold and icy. There's like all these adjectives you can ascribe to it.
it is
It's so unique.
Yeah, it's tied to like this industrial production and
Yeah.
sort of like flourishes of noise that make it very interesting. But it also has like a full brass sound to it, jazzy guitar riffs and stuff that you could feasibly find in R&B. So again, just combining those things, and people have asked us to like what we look for in a project, and there's not like a list of check boxes that we're looking for, but from you can see just from these 3 albums we've talked about so far that they're combining like 2 or 3 or more genre ideas, and it's so good.
Yeah, it's very fresh.
Yeah, I want to talk about the vocals on this album too, because
For
I
sure.
think that's
Oh,
also
gorgeous.
what helps root it in the world of R&B.
Totally.
Because the lead singer's voice is very like rich and deep and soulful.
Yeah, low and not like monotone, not like robotic, but
No,
just doesn't. It's R&B, so it
Right,
just
right.
sort of riffs on like those really pretty 2 and 3 note differences like the whole time.
very groovy and
Yeah,
like
the vocal
lyrically
manipulation.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too. And lyrically very sensual too, which also kind of ties it back into that R&B sound.
Yeah, very much so.
But yeah, just done in this really unique, off the wall kind of like production that is really hard to categorize. I mean, it's not just like
Well, sometimes
like
those,
Deconstructed Club
like
or
slow R&B ballads are sometimes on, I guess, on more of a hip hop centered album, sometimes the skip tracks for me, but I feel like this is still very danceable, and it goes into like trance at the end of it too, and so yeah, I love the mix of the energy with its smoothness and like sensuality and stuff at the same
Yeah,
time.
I forgot about that really weird closing track.
Yeah, it's
the last
wild.
one on this gets really, really bizarre. So
Yeah.
that was great. I really, really liked that
Oh,
album. Yeah, I think these are like 16-year-olds from the Netherlands or something. So they're cooler than we'll ever be. They're like really like on the cutting edge of like what music will sound like in like 10 years. Good stuff.
Word.
Cool. All right, the last album, we kind of blew through those, but let's chat about A Harmony of Loss Has Been Sung by Tunic.
It is a noise rock, very dark type of release, very opposite of a lot of these other things we're talking about. And
yeah, it's opposite, and at the same time, it suits outside noise maybe
Yeah,
the best
it
for like stuff
absolutely-
we've covered in the past.
yeah, it is absolutely the kind of thing we cover
Yeah,
frequently.
just had a lot of different shit this month.
Yeah. But it is, again, very dark, very shouty, very angsty, all based on the one of the songwriters and the main vocalist their wife had a miscarriage, and it's about that experience from both of the partners' perspectives, and it's just very like transparently angsty, very just like asking the obvious questions that come up that you and addressing these like very uncomfortable and almost like like childish things that we all feel when we are confronted with something that's like this distressing, but we would feel like ashamed to like broadcast to people that we might feel that way. But it's talked about here in a very like humanizing way, and it takes guts to expose that like really raw part of the grieving process in a really raw way, without like prettying it up or intellectualizing it first.
And like you said, it was it's cool how they talk about it, the experience as a couple. He has his own emotions about it, but you can tell they've also spent a lot of time like processing through it together. He talks a lot about like the physical sensation of like the aftermath and everything, and it's really interesting and not something that it has touched a lot of people, but not everyone is like writing an album about it. You know?
Yeah. It's a under discussed common tragic event in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, and much less like this Scrams sort of approach. But I do feel like grief and loss and everything just suit the sound really well, and it's beautiful and highly emotional.
Sense. It's very it makes a lot of intuitive emotional sense. This is what that feeling probably sounds like.
Yeah. So it's really cool, and the spoken word delivery is amazing. Really cool emotional builds throughout the whole thing. It's a beautiful album.
And I love none of these songs really follow any sort of like traditional song structure. It's totally just like chaos the entire time of like noise and grief and sadness, and it has its highs and lows, its peaks and valleys, but overall it keeps it pretty intense, and it just like tugs at your heartstrings too. It's very, very sad. I mean, that goes without saying, obviously, with the subject matter.
Yeah, I think that the structure of their songs does mimic kind of the grieving process too, right?
I like
those
that
big
point.
Swells of anger and like a lot of going back. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like that's how I do it.
And this album is only like 30 minutes long,
Yes.
also, which is very impressive that they are able to tell such a nuanced and deeply personal story in such a short time frame. I think there are kind of albums that do similar stuff, but it's closer to like a 2-hour long like epic journey.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of the stuff can draw out, but they keep it short, man.
And
They
this
get
one,
through
it doesn't really have like a happy ending. There's really no conclusion here. It just kind of leaves you in this like desolate.
Well, right, that's the way loss is. It's like ripped from you, and then time just the sun's gonna come up the next day. What are you gonna do about it? Like,
This I'm really glad that this made it onto this list. I think this album really deserves a lot more attention. I'm sure that it'll continue to get more attention. I don't even really know if there's much like critical
what was
discussion.
The reception?
What was the? Did anyone? Has anyone else listened to this album? How many monthly listeners do these guys even have? I'm always shocked.
Swell is like 1,500.
Tunic has 9,000.
Okay, that's not nothing.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
But come on, guys, go bump up those numbers.
So I remember when you were like asking from before about Swell, and I looked it up. I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's good to know. I still appreciate the update on Swell.
Yeah.
All right, well, what are we thinking? We have 4 really strong contenders. It's crazy whenever we have this like tournament bracket style thing, and then at this part of the month it's all just like the best of the best, and it's like
And they all do such different things, like we said in our discussion.
Yeah, sometimes we do these monthly podcasts and it's just like all noise rock or all post rock. We're like, well, which one sounds the coolest or has like the most interesting concept? But these are all, it's really apples and oranges here. There's not like an easy pick. I'm kind of leaning Gift Horse, but I'm also really into Tunic. Just because it was so like impactful. I remember like listening to this on the bus and like crying and like trying to like not let people see me cry.
Yep. I'll probably go Tunic, but a close second is Songs for Lost Travelers, and I could be convinced, but I'm going with Tunic.
Nice. Okay, we have one solid vote for Tunic.
I'm X and Yde or Tunic.
I also liked X and Yde. I like Tunic.
It's hard.
I know. I'm like, I don't know what to pick.
This is always the most exciting.
Think about it.
The most exciting.
I did, and I didn't get anywhere.
I know, because it's like we sit down and we talk about all of them. It's like, that's a really good point.
Tunic wins. No,
Congratulations, Tunic, for your win.
I don't mind it.
I mean,
Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah,
What
I
do
mean,
you
that's
think,
everybody's,
Kaylin?
like,
What do you
other
think?
one.
What do you think, Kaylin?
Yeah, let's do it. Shout out to Tunic.
Sure.
Great.
Word
I feel
up.
like Carrie said, this is maybe the most outside noisy
Well,
of
and
the
that's
albums.
not like the decision parameter, but it's also like it means it's a great fit. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it checks the boxes, like very good.
You're speaking so highly of it.
Yeah.
It checks the boxes.
Well, no, I
Wow.
feel like it just had that really strong concept and personal message behind it. I think that the personal connection to it is something that I really can't like overlook, and I think that infuses the art with something whenever you have like a story that's so deep attached to your album. I think that does come through a little bit like the like Vida Blue, for example. Where it's another album that's very much about loss, that's very, very personal to everyone involved in the making of the album. Yeah,
you can't accuse it of being melodramatic. It's kind of unimpeachable, and it sounds great. And I like this resurgence of that industrial influenced, dark kind of sound.
yeah. This reminded me a little bit too of like American Standard and stuff, like other albums that are that type of just like they really pummel you into submission and sadness.
Noise
There you go.
noise rock happening.
Yeah. Cool. Do we have any honorable mentions that we want to discuss now that we're on the other side of our album of the month pick?
I'll mention the Distaff by Moth.
Yes.
This was a part of a heated debate on our other podcast, but it's like gothic, very grandiose, but kind of brings it back down to earth with some neoclassical kind of flourishes, and it is about the spiritualization of the body, which is oftentimes out of your control as just a person who is just living in this culture that treats your body in a certain way. And it's very, I don't know, I think it just does everything it tries to do really well, is dramatic in a good way, and very emotional, and very aesthetically complete.
That's interesting. I didn't expect you to pick that album.
I really liked it.
That's cool.
It's
And I see
gorge.
too, because I know you really liked the Ethel Cain album too. And obviously this has a very different sound, but I see where it's that like dark,
you can draw the line.
dark
Yeah.
feminine energy. Like, yes.
for
Ooh,
sure.
it's the blood moon tonight. Got it. Anyway.
Speaking
Sorry.
of dark femininity.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
probably not
Moth.
even
The
going to
blood
see
moon.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
I
true.
love when it's cloudy every single day in this beautiful city.
It was a beautiful cloudless day the other day.
Yeah, I know.
It's been
and that's
kinda
not
cloudy.
when the blood moon happened. Womp womp.
Womp womp. Good luck, everyone. I have an honorable mention. That's what the hand
Okay.
raise was for.
Pop
sorry.
off.
I'm doing the Shemp Tropical. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm doing Shemp Tropical
fine.
by the Fred Karger Memorial Lump Band.
I'm also doing Shemp Tropical by the Fred Karger Memorial Lump Band.
I'm also doing Shemp Tropical by the Fred Karger Memorial Lump Band.
It's almost
it was
like,
a
why
crazy
didn't we
one.
fucking talk about
It
it
might
then?
be worth hashing this out beforehand next time, but that's
No, it's funny. I'll
It's
talk
fine.
about a different album. When do you guys talk about it?
Okay, I'll talk about Shemp Tropical. So this album, man, where do I even start?
Well,
I'll
there
start
you
on
go.
the first track. The first track, I think, really gives you a nice insight into what to expect from this album. It is a 9-minute long freak folk. Did I call this freak folk? There was an album recently that I called freak folk, and you guys were like, "That's not freak folk."
I think
Is this
freak folk
folk?
means something much more specific than I think it means, so I'm always afraid to use that word in a review or a hashtag.
Someone
this
We
is
call
just,
this
like,
like
weird folk.
dystopian, no wave folk, like
really,
It's
really bizarre,
strange,
and it
yeah.
turns
That's what you need to
into
know.
this almost impenetrable sound collage later in the album. But it starts off with this long protest song, I guess you could say, about the assassination of Vice President Pete Buttigieg in 2029.
yeah,
Something like that. And so already that's a weird alternate history future thing, and it plays it all straight, but it's also self-aware and funny and weird, and this is maybe one of the strangest albums that we covered in the past month. It didn't win album of the week, so it didn't get into that like bracket from earlier, but man, this was really a bizarre, fun rap. If you like the really, really strange stuff, definitely recommend.
Yeah, I like it's very disorienting, but still very musical, still very enjoyable to listen
it's
to.
It's also
I'd
like
say.
Making fun of podcasts is an important
Absolutely.
point to bring up.
Yeah, making fun of podcasts, the vibe of like flipping through the channels and just people talking, hearing themselves in an echo chamber.
And making fun of people who take the news seriously, because it's like,
That
you
too.
just can't. Like, at a certain point, you gotta. It's like this is the Clown World, the album.
Right,
Yes.
and like things only get weirder as they go.
yeah,
So
exactly.
like imagining what it could even possibly look like in 2029 is kind of crazy.
And like more confusing, but there's kind of these like story through lines that you can pick up on, and these recurring characters. This album it's such like a whole little like world building exercise that they've created. So weird. Lots of like stream of consciousness spoken word stuff that's been chopped and screwed into total oblivion. It's great.
It was quite good, and I liked it.
It was very good. I don't know if you can say it's like good. It's good.
I think
It's good. Okay, it's good.
I feel comfortable saying it was good.
It's outsidery, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I like that.
Always.
That's
We
delicious.
like that. We like that.
Okay. What's y'all's new concoction?
I have one.
Yeah.
My next pick is kind of related and themed to Kaylin's pick, I would say. This album isn't about the $500 million loan Wells Fargo gave to Elbit Systems. It's a fun, apolitical album with spooky lyrics that you can put on at your Halloween parties or anytime, by Carlton Heston of Atlanta Monsters fame. So, this is one that we talked about just yesterday. Oh, doesn't it seem so long ago?
Did we talk about it? Yeah, we talked about it on Up Next as well.
I think we did. It's also sort of a political album, as you can tell by the title and all the song titles therein. It's sort of pointing at directly everything that is wrong by saying not and then what they want to say, which is really cool. And it's fun. It's also got sort of a folk sound. We have a whole playlist of folk adjacent projects
folk.
going on today.
Weird folk.
We don't often. I mean,
This one's very gothic too.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, it is. It is definitely scary. And
for Halloween or anytime.
Or anytime.
Whereas Fred Karger has like that podcast sort of structure and framework to its storytelling, this one we said kind of goes into more of a fantasy storytelling approach where it's like good guys and bad guys, I guess. And so it's just a different way of looking at very similar issues, and kind of toes into that folk punk thing, which is really fun. Like I said, there's a couple kazoo breaks, which our folk punk fans will appreciate. It's a super fun project. Says everything by saying nothing and everything.
Traditional country, the traditional country revival is kind of in a weird place right now, and I like these people making experimental riffs on that idea.
Yeah.
It's important. I think it's the future.
Get weird and nasty with it, please.
Yeah. This typically happens when maybe not the mainstream, but subcultures directly adjacent to the mainstream dig up something. It then kind of works its way into the underground, like
the runoff.
How everyone's taking influence from shoegaze and stuff. It's unsurprising to see that, but it is also, of course, it's always unsurprising to say, oh, well, I bet this sound is going to show up places, but then it is surprising how it does, and it's in really interesting ways, and it's cool and should continue.
Yeah. And a great voice on Carlton Heston. Thank you for singing.
Yay.
Yeah, very like nice, deep, and like gravelly.
Yeah,
It's exactly
Sounds
the
good.
voice that you
Oh.
want to hear in your goth country
Goth.
folk.
Yeah.
Goth. What about you?
Do you have another pick?
I'm gonna go with Be Again by iANO.
Oh yeah,
It is
iANO.
great one. It is a sound art indie pop meets like a hard trance. Super interesting combination. And it doesn't sound weird. It's like really good. It's another semi mournful album too.
It's a breakup.
Yeah, it's a
album.
breakup.
So if y'all made it through Valentine's and then got broken up with.
Oh God, is that better or worse? Would you rather be broken up with before Valentine's Day or
it depends.
after?
It depends.
Okay.
If their decision has been made before the Valentine's Day, please break up with me before the Valentine's Day.
Yeah, there's a graph of like what days like breakups typically happen based on when people change their Facebook status to single.
Yes.
And I think
That's
there's
funny.
a huge spike immediately before Valentine's Day, and then the day of Valentine's Day is like almost zero. Yeah.
Because it's like, why would you?
Right, exactly. Same with Christmas too.
Yeah, would totally rather you do it before if you know that that's the direction it's going to go. If it's
kinda
February
interesting.
15th and you just took me out to dinner and whatever, I'm
There's also
pissed.
there's
I'm
also like a weird
pissed.
cycle where it's like the same day every week is the most common breakup day. I think it's like Monday.
Oh,
yeah. Yep.
It's like every week has that.
Start the week,
spike
get it out of the
cycle.
way.
Yeah,
Yep.
but-
Oh, you had the weekend to think about it.
Right.
Makes sense.
Anyway,
Yeah, at least
but that
common
happened to this
decency.
person.
Yeah.
Who made B again, and the result was great. I hope this person gets broken up with a lot.
Don't you hate when that's the takeaway?
You know, I hope new, interesting, bad things happen to this person.
I do hate when you listen. Yeah.
I hope new, interesting, good things happen. I just hope things happen. I hope they feel, even if nothing happens, you know, you can go do like an artist residency in a cabin and nothing can happen and you can make great music.
The thing people say about artistry? It's like things need to happen to you. Like you can't write about stuff that you haven't experienced or something.
I hope you have a very dynamic human
Well, this is
experience.
why
Oh, wait,
there's
I love
like a
that.
thing that, like people say that a lot of artists it's like, you know, obviously the phenomenon of like, oh, the first 2 albums were good and then everything else is shit.
Yeah.
It's because your life just becomes like being on the road every day and then nothing happens to you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why on the road again.
Okay.
Yeah, then
I
you
like
either
it,
get
I
road
like
songs,
it.
which nobody can relate to, or you just recycle the same things that happened to you before you sold your life to the road.
You need to put
Yay.
yourself into situations.
You gotta
You gotta
take.
get into situations. for
If
sure.
you,
I
do-
feel like I can't speak to this because I've never truly been on tour, but I feel like things would happen to you, maybe more if you're in a new city every day.
I mean, things happen to you, but it's like hard to like build like relationships, and
Yeah.
it's like your day is so much time in your day is accounted for that it's hard for you to like you know, just do anything with other people, and you're not really in those other cities. You're just like in the green room.
that actually
Yeah.
makes sense because yeah.
You're
So
not
it-
gaining anything necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your
I
day gets very
understand, yeah.
routine driven. But anyway, so yeah, I hope things keep happening to artists.
Yes. Yay.
And things are gonna happen. Listen, even if you're on the road every day, shit happens with your family.
Oh, for
like,
sure. I mean, there's plenty of
yeah.
artists who make it work, who make good music for their whole career, even after they go on the road.
But it is
every day,
interesting when you get a popular album and then your life gets a little better and then you're not pissed
There's
off
that
and
too.
bad
Yeah,
anymore.
it's like people who start out on like struggle music have a hard time maintaining that.
Yeah, struggle music is a good way of putting
There's a reason why
to
the
start
first
out.
Nas album is the best Nas album, right?
Yeah. I think though I'll use Brat as an example, unfortunately, of an album that is about like, oh, now I'm famous and it's really hard.
Yeah.
as,
There's
like,
there's
a
all
good
sorts of
example.
great examples of artists who've made it work by making an introspecting thing that still feels human to people who are not famous. And,
Right, yeah.
A lot of
It's a
people
tricky
are able to
balance.
do it. It's kind of a mark of a good songwriter, and Charli XCX is one of them.
Cool.
But anyway.
Wow. Well, I'll go ahead and shout out in this little random empty space that we have. We have a zine that we're going to be putting out in like a few weeks. Zine submissions are open. Please
Yes.
email them to us.
our zine.
Anything.
Go look at our Instagram page. Not everyone's on Instagram. You can email us at put spring 25 zine
Well,
outside noise
what you need to know is it
444@gmail.com.
can be anything. Pictures, poems.
Yeah,
misconnections.
the stipulation is that it'll come out in black and white, so it's gotta
Yeah.
look good in black and white.
And we're gonna chop it up and put it with other submissions and shit.
Do
We're
we
gonna
care
make it a
about like the
beautiful zine.
length
And,
or like how
and
many
we'll reply to your email if we pick you, and we'll get more details if needed about crediting and stuff, because we don't want to just throw it in there without putting your name.
Totally.
No, I was just gonna put it all in like not in
So
order.
this was
I
all
wasn't
made
gonna-
by us.
By
Wink,
Kaylin
wink.
Fields.
Yeah.
full name. That's fine.
You
Wow.
said your full name.
It's out there.
Right. Come
I sign
on.
my emails with it. That's fine. Anyway,
You
do we have
like
anything
tag
else to talk about? Is it time to go? It's been really nice this week, so we're doing a seafood boil for dinner tonight. Is it time?
Sunshine.
I think it might be.
Any further notes?
Yeah, do we have anything? Has anything happened in the music world that we need to talk about, guys?
Well, we talked about Gaga on yesterday's
we did
episode,
talk about-
Do not need
and
to
we
rehash
determined
that.
we don't have enough fucking information to work off of.
Because I haven't listened to the full album.
Yeah.
I have not.
Not
listened
everyone here
to
is
all
playing with the full
album.
deck on that conversation, and that's fine.
And I'm owning that.
Yeah, the big banger albums are starting to come out. It's spring break season.
Yes.
The blockbusters are here.
Very exciting.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Solid, we'll see. Solid, we'll see.
Solid, we'll see.
So we'll see.
I have a bonus recommendation, an album that came out in 1992 for everyone.
Cute.
Wow.
If you like You Suck Crap by Babyland, this is like early industrial, weird dance electronic techno shit. If you're into that sort of digital hardcore, this is a very early example that I've been enjoying. And it's kind of like, what if music was like bad and hard to listen to? And I've been enjoying it for that reason. Thank you, Babyland.
That sounds great. I'll check that out. Sounds like fun. Yeah, we might go to a show this weekend.
Yeah.
Might go to the club. Who knows?
Love the club.
Yeah. If you see us around Philadelphia, say hey, what's
Say hi.
up. We might table at something.
Oh, yeah, we're tabling at the Clark Park Scene Festival
Michael's
at the
falling
end
asleep.
of the
I'm
month.
really tired.
What day is that?
It's on the 30th. It's on March 30th at Clark Park from 3 to 5 p.m.
A Sunday.
We will be there. We will have zines. And that's it. We're
I
not
don't
gonna
think
have
I
anything
will
else.
be there. But
We
y'all
might
have
have like patches and stuff too. People were taking those last time.
We should do a fan meetup.
Oh my god, like in the old days.
Be like, okay, everybody, come to this park. I'm going to be waiting here at 5 p.m.
This summer when Julie and I are going to theme parks, we should just tell everyone when it is. And then,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, that'd be good.
Buy a ticket to the theme park.
Yeah, go to the theme park.
You will have to pay like $50 or
No,
like a
you
season
don't.
pass.
Ride roller
Everyone, what?
coasters
What?
with you.
Are they going to be waiting in
Who on
hordes
the
outside
East
of the theme
Coast
park?
Doesn't have a
Okay.
Cedar Fair Six
I have
Flags season pass.
2 suggestions. One, we should start posting on our Instagram stories anytime we're going to a show. It doesn't have to be like the house shows and stuff because I think there should be
I don't
on
want
the
to
down
blow
low.
up the spot.
But we can just post the flyer. I know we're going to a show on Saturday at Two Rivers Brewing?
Yes.
I think we could post that before we go.
Two River. I don't know if the. I don't
Two
know if it's
Hands
Two,
Brewing.
It's-
Which one is this?
It's the My Wife's an Angel.
Oh.
Go look up My Wife's an Angel and you'll see it.
We having a meeting on the YouTube
I
channel.
actually-
Friends of the
cannot.
pod.
It
Friends
might
of
be
the
Two.
pod.
It might actually be Two Rivers.
I think it's called Two Rivers,
Yeah,
the
I
first
bet it
black-owned
is.
brewery in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's what it says. I think it might have said it all of Pennsylvania, which is kind of. Come on,
Oh.
Pennsylvania.
That's
what
crazy.
the hell, man? But yeah, I guess. But yeah, I don't even know where it is, but we're going.
So that's idea number 1, is to post flyers before we go to a show. And then number 2 is I think we can make a new Patreon tier for, let's say, $100 a month, and then we will
you get to be our
all go.
friends.
No. We will take you to a theme park. All 4 of us will come with you. We'll go to the amusement park
package.
in
Yes. Oh my
the
God.
48 states of your choice, and in
Not
the
in the
lower
48
48 states.
of your
No,
choice.
just pick whichever one you want to go to.
No.
We can go to Magic Mountain.
Oh my
go-
god, if we go to Magic Mountain, we spend
No,
$4 million.
no.
getting
Disney
there.
World.
That's-
Okay, well we can bump it up to like a $500 tier.
Oh
Oh my god.
No,
Yes,
I like.
guys,
can we just do
please.
There's
$100 and
there-
you go to Hershey Park with us?
There's a podcast I follow where if you pay them $1,000, you get to be on the podcast.
Wait.
Okay, well we're
Yeah.
gonna try to. Never mind.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say that we're gonna try to start having guests, but usually not like random people. Usually, maybe
It's like
are,
people who happen to
somewhat-
live in Philly or are touring who we've reviewed.
People whose opinion we would listen to.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
who's like relevant. No, okay, no, we can get
A lot
randos
of,
on
a lot
here.
of people,
That's
in our,
fine.
a lot of
Pull
people
up.
in our Discord are people we've reviewed.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
Totally, they are, and yeah, it's
But,
you know.
anyway.
I do like listening to podcasts that have interviews with just like random civilians.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah. There was
Podcast
a,
but outside type shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
just be like, this guy works at Waffle House. Isn't that fucked up? And then they talk about how fucked up it is to work at Waffle House.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
would
if
love
you're
that.
willing to pay $1,000 to be on the podcast, also probably have something really cool to say.
No, the one episode that they actually did where somebody did it, it was like dog shit. The
No,
person was
right.
just like
They're like,
really corny.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like,
oh my god, guys, this is so cool.
It was just really bad. In fact, it might have been so bad that they stopped doing it. I actually don't know. But-
Oh god.
It's not worth the money.
Yeah, that's really crazy because usually on Patreon you need to be subscribed for like 3 months or something for some of those benefits to like
yeah,
unlock.
this is a one-time thing. I think I don't even know if it was on. Like, I think there was like a note on Patreon that like said that, and they would mention it at the end of the episodes. But I think you might just straight up Venmo them $1,000, and you get
Damn.
to go on the podcast or something.
I kind
If
of
you
love
Venmo
that.
us $1,000,
yeah.
you can be on this podcast.
Any of us. I'll take it.
Well, Venmo the business preferably. We'll put that code here.
No, don't do that. Don't Venmo us $1,000, and we have to fucking figure out.
We have to pay taxes on
No,
No,
it.
you get yourself here. We're not gonna do any of that. That's all. We'll host you. You can sleep on our futon.
No.
You can stay
no,
here.
no, 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 no
No, that's gonna
sleepovers
be
with strangers
fun.
from the
You
internet.
can have a sleepover. I love sleepovers with strangers from the internet.
Ooh, that's true. You love
Stranger
them.
with $1,000.
Stranger with $1,000.
That's
What
the thing.
could go
Just because you
wrong?
have the money doesn't mean you have the personality to be on the podcast.
No, Carrie, anything
we're
could
all just
happen.
such big magnetic personalities.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm very charismatic.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
All right.
Did we do it?
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone for joining and listening to us chat, and congratulations to Tunic, who won our album of the month for February.
Yay!
Bye.